Guys, welcome again to Leap of Faith Life. I'm Azar, and today we're talking about some winter survival tips, or getting around the winter blues, or some of my favorite winter things. So if you guys would like to learn a few tips to combat the winter blues, get through a little bit of those shorter days, the less sunlight, please stay tuned. The first tip I have for you is a sunrise alarm clock. I had no idea this was a thing. You can set your time for whatever you'd like to get up for, and it will, when it starts to go off, it'll go off a few minutes before, and the light will start to get brighter and brighter and brighter until it reaches its peak where the alarm will go off, and you can set it to have birds or really sweet small sounds coming from the clock. It's a really gentle way of waking up your body, as if it was in front of a large window and opening up to daylight naturally. This has been huge, especially if you have a dark room or a room with not a lot of windows. It's huge. It makes me feel so much better about getting up in the morning, not getting up to this cave, but getting up to some light and pretending that I am in nature a little bit. It sounds a little bit sad to pretend to have, birds chirping out of your window, but it really does work wonders. And you can set it for a couple different times, and I like to actually turn on the light, which you're able to do. You can turn off the alarm and then turn on the light, and I put on my makeup that way, and it just feels a lot brighter. It feels a lot more warming, just to have that extra little bit of light. Now these are different than those actual sun lamps for those with SAD disorder, seasonal affective disorder, or those that are just having a hard time with the winter months. A lot of times our internal clocks can get off, our circadian rhythm can get off, and that leads to a lot of confusion, some negative feelings within the body. The 10,000, and I'll leave it here below, that is the level that you want to get to make sure that you're getting those waves into the body, getting that light into the body. What I do is I flip mine open, I put on my makeup in the morning, and then I'll maybe sip some water, sip some tea rather, or get all my stuff ready. I'll just have it on. And then a lot of times, now this might need to be prescribed, but a lot of times friends have had prescriptions where they turn it on at night and then they turn it on, they turn it on in the morning and then they turn it on at night, so that they're mimicking when the sun is coming up and when the sun is going down, so that their circadian rhythm, their body is able to adjust a little bit more, and they end up feeling a lot better that way. So check this out. This is not meant to diagnose anything, but it's just something that has helped me. I know that other people that they've worked with, different either therapists or things like that have suggested these items, these different lights. But just know that if you're in a dark place where the sunlight is a lot less, this could potentially be a nice boost for the mood, if not to just get your body on a little bit more of a rhythm. Now again, not suggesting to take anything that you haven't first checked out with your doctor or your care provider, but St. John's wort has worked for me in the winter time. It's something that is pretty commonly, I would say, recommended for the wintertime months, or also for different situations again, but I'm going to stick to what has just helped me. So the bottle that I got, you take one in the morning and one in the evening, and it helps with just regulating a lot of the moods that are happening. There's a lot of different moods that people have, but a lot of times it can get your natural happiness levels, I should say, dip a little bit in the winter months. For me, that has been the case. So this has been a huge help for me to have a little bit more of a normalcy. It's been a big difference for me. Try it out, test it out, see what works for you. I love salt lamps. They're a huge thing that it's been a huge help for, I don't even know where that came from. It's been a huge help for me. So I have one at work, I have one in my room, we've got one in the living room. They're just really warm and comforting to look at, but at the same time, there are a lot of scientific benefits to having salt lamps. So turning them on, I like to have them on just to clean the room a little bit, but I will list all the different benefits here from salt lamps. Now, there's lots of different places you can get these from, Amazon, or I bought mine at my local yoga shop. They're very easy to get to, and they're very warm feeling in the wintertime. So I will actually turn on one salt lamp by my bed, one by my desk where I get ready for work in the morning. I'll flip on my, my sun lamp, and then I will flip on my sunrise alarm clock and turn on my lights and plug in my Christmas lights. And they're not Christmas lights, just the white lights that, the twinkle lights. And those I have just kind of around my door and my window. And all of that light is actually really necessary for me in the wintertime when it's super dark out, to have all that bright light to feel like, it's, you know, it's nice and warm in here and cozy, and it makes it really, really sweet. I would also recommend those twinkle lights, Christmas lights, whatever you want to call them. Those are really sweet to have around your room, and I just actually have them around my door and my window frame. I don't have them around the entirety of my room. I've heard people putting them along their bed frame, and that really helps. Try it out, see if it works. I actually have them around in the summertime just because I'm so obsessed with them. In the wintertime, for me, I would wake up with a scratchy sore throat and nose a lot of the time. So I've invested in just a little tiny humidifier. It's only big enough for just a little bedroom, and it's got this blue light, so another light that I have in my room. This is really calming blue light. But any type of humidifier is going to help significantly in that dry factor, having the hands just crack and your skin crack. So it's great for me to have that. I have that thing going constantly. Make sure that you're cleaning it out with a little bit of vinegar and water, because it tends to get a little bit crusty with having a lot of that water flow through constantly. But I would say that that has made such a huge difference for me, and just hearing the water movement too has been nice as well. So play with that. That's a really nice thing to have in the wintertime in your wintertime toolbox kit. So along with St. John's wort, I would say B complex, B12 is the best one. That has helped me. Again, it might be different for you, but for me, that B complex has made me a lot kinder and nicer, and I just have that in my normal vitamin regimen. Vitamin C is also key to keep that immunity boosted, especially if you're going to be doing any traveling during the winter months. But again, eating a natural, healthy diet will inevitably have and bring these things into your body. But I like to have those vitamins just to make sure that I am getting them if I don't have a certain day where I'm eating the best. And sometimes it's just nice to have that extra little boost in the winter time. Of vitamin B, C, St. John's wort, and vitamin D have helped me significantly. So I would say the common ones that people talk about are vitamin D, because of the sunlight. You're not getting a lot of that in the winter time with the grayer days and the shorter light. So that one is top key, I would say, from different bits of advice that people have and different recommendations from physicians. Again, talk to your physician, but vitamin D, St. John's wort, vitamin B12 are typically advised or talked about when it comes to winter blues. I like to take a hair, skin, and nails vitamin as well in the winter time, because I get really cracked, dry nails in the winter time and skin. It's just something nice that I do to kind of love on my body. I try and eat really well every day in order to get those nutrients from eating well, but again, it's just nice to have that backup in case I'm not eating the best. So I'll have a little vitamin regimen in the morning and at night, and it tends to make me feel a little bit better during the day. I would say plants, incorporating those into your room is really huge. So I have an aloe plant and a few different succulents. I don't know what this is, but this is really nice. But any type of greenery that you can get into your room. I'm really bad with plants, but aloe tends to be really easy to maintain and keep alive. So just find that plant that works for you. Don't be hesitant. Just love on them a little bit each day. It's kind of nice to feed them a little bit of water in the morning. Having that green is really going to make a big difference. Now stick with me here. This is a little bit more on the holistic side, but Palo Santo is a little bit of wood that actually is known scientifically to clean the air around. It's also a really warming scent. So when you walk in the room, a lot of times you'll just kind of be like, oh, that's just, it feels really comfortable in here. It cleans out any of the negative energy in the room for the woo-woo people out there. And then also scientifically it's known to clean the air. Now sage is nice because that also can clean a space and just kind of any settled energy, any settled stagnant air, because you're not able to open those windows a lot in the winter time. It can just get really, the air can get really settled and stuck and ugh, in the winter time. So it's nice to go through, and as you're cleaning your room, or once a week, or however you're feeling, or if you're bringing new things into your room, If you've had a sad day, it's nice to go around and sage or burn your Palo Santo a little bit. That has made a huge difference for me. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Please leave any comments below. The community or I can answer them. If you're into travel or yoga, we've got that stuff too. Have a wonderful rest of your winter time.